A Primal Lifestyle with your hosts, Nico and Ellen Haan. Now, Nico and Ellen Haan.
There we are. Welcome to the show, folks. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle. I'm Nico Haan.
And I'm Ellen Haan. Good morning. We have a new look here behind us.
Yeah, this is great.
New studio look.
So this is where we explore a return to a more balanced and natural wild world.
To recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms.
Now we're on track. It's a beautiful day in downtown St. Petersburg. You know, it's 79 degrees, clear skies, and looks like the tropics are getting active, so we're going to try watching that for a little bit, but here we are again. I'd like to remind people, first of all, to pick up our Primal Edge. This is over 310 organic cell-ready liquid ingredients, so it's easy to take, all powered by fulvic and humic acid. And this is important today with the COVID, the flu around, that this gets the good stuff in.
And lets the bad stuff out.
Yeah, and also please pick up our Health Signals newsletter. I have a brand new one out there today, starting with an article about experts urging the evaluation of diets during routine checkups. And we talked about that last week. Mm-hmm. We normally don't do that now, and that's probably a good idea to start checking on things like that. Okay, so I really wanted to talk today a little bit about herd immunity. We've talked about it a little bit before, but I think it's important for people to realize this is the normal way we always did things, and now we've kind of shifted. And there's a big reason behind this. I was listening to an interview with Dr. Fauci the other day, and they were talking about the herd immunity and, you know, why don't we just let this thing run through the population, because with measles and smallpox and a lot of these other type of infections that we get, the herd immunity kicks in when a certain percentage of the people have gotten the disease, and then kind of everybody gets into that herd mentality and everybody is protected. And that's just the normal progression of most flus, and the flu and the cold have always been this way, and now it's changed. And there's one particular reason why it's changed, and that's the reason we really have this show, I think, too, because the people's health are compromised. When your health is compromised and you can't fight these diseases off with your own immune system, that's a real problem for the human race, I think.
Yeah, well, of course it is.
Yeah.
And you know, it's interesting because herd immunity has been discussed at length and during the whole pandemic from the beginning. And now there's looking at herd immunity a little bit differently and really analyzing it and figuring out, well, does it work and can we achieve herd immunity?
And it seems with this one, it doesn't. It seems like the antibodies don't stick to the people as well as a lot of the other viruses that are around. But again, the emphasis should be that we have a sick population. Half of our population can't handle this, or a real big percentage. And that's the scary thing. So I really think the mandate should be, let's get the United States healthy. Let's stop having this crap food around, and let's get everybody on the bandwagon where everybody can be healthy, because I think that's one of our rights. It's not really written in the Constitution that way, but there is a phrase in there saying that we want a particular...
Right to health.
Yeah, right to...
health and the pursuit of happiness.
There you go, and happiness is directly tied, I think, to health.
Oh, well, sure.
It certainly is for me.
Sure.
So the emphasis should be really now... is discovering what is a better diet for people instead of what's out there. And certainly if we look at the populations that are poorer, they're going to be hit harder because the quality of food goes down as your income goes down.
Yeah, and I think we've been talking a lot about this over the years, and the whole herd immunity thing. You can't get herd immunity if your population is compromised.
Yeah.
And we have so many people. How many people do you know that said, oh, I have to stay home because I have a compromised immune system? And everybody so many people that we know have compromised immune systems,
right,
by standard scientific definitions.
Yeah.
If you have a compromised immune system, you're not going to contribute to, in a positive way, herd immunity.
Yeah. And the ones that are at the forefront of this, one is obesity, of course, and that's tied to the other diseases like heart disease and diabetes, both type 1 and type 2, and hypertension, high blood pressure. Those are the ones that seem to be indicated more, putting you into trouble if you have these things.
And then also smoking and drinking and
having a crappy lifestyle, not exercising, things like that. And you don't have to do a lot of exercise. We've talked about this for many, many years, that we don't have to be fanatics exercising. We just have to get some. A daily walk for many people is enough. But I think this should be the national mandate now, is let's work on getting people healthy. And we know, at least you and I know directly, that it's tied to our food. It's not tied to medicine. It's tied to our food. It's tied to sunshine and being outside and healthy, getting enough exercise, and being in a nice household, being in a household where people like each other.
Yeah, I think that's part of it for sure. You have to eliminate your toxic environment, and that includes your emotionally toxic environment.
Yeah. Yeah, so some of these articles that we're talking about, one is called, let me bring it up here, What is Herd Immunity? How Can We Achieve It with COVID-19? And pretty much what they're saying in this article, that it's very, very difficult, because 4 out of every 5 people who encounter people with the disease won't get sick and won't spread the disease any further. And that's what normally happened.
Yeah, and that's interesting, because when this all started, they were saying, oh my God, everybody's going to get sick and it's going to be terrible, and the country will be devastated by deaths of COVID-19.
And it's not to say if you're completely healthy that you won't get this. It's just that I think the percentages are going to be much smaller. It seems like any disease will grab somebody that seems perfectly healthy.
Any door that they can get in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's important to realize too. So you have to take precautions, but getting yourself healthy should be the number one mandate here in the United States, Canada, and probably the world. We need to talk about what is healthy food and what isn't healthy food. And we know that populations in the past have gotten over these things because we're here.
Right.
And I think if this goes on this way, where half the population is so sick that you can't achieve herd immunity, this is a bad thing for the human race altogether.
Oh, yeah. Well,
we couldn't, as a species.
We depend on herd immunity.
Yeah, that's what keeps us alive as a community. And we're not the only ones to do this, too. So when we get back from the break, there are animals that also practice herd immunity, and they also practice social isolation. So it's kind of interesting that we're not the only ones talking or thinking about this thing. Animals seem to do this instinctively. So while we're on a break, folks, this is a perfect time to go up to the TFNN page and pick out your Primal Edge and get that on a subscription. It's only $89 a month, and this ensures, if your diet is good, this is going to ensure you get all the vitamins and minerals you need. And then the second thing is, of course, this follows the show, our Health Signals newsletter. It's $10 a month for 2 issues on the 1st and the 15th of every month. So we'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive.
We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living at Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
And welcome back to the show. We're talking about herd immunity, and this is something we really would like. It seems like it's not possible. The experts are kind of saying that we're just not going to have it because too many people are compromised. That's why we have to slow this down, and I guess that makes sense from that standpoint. From a standpoint of having the human race be a strong,
Vital
entity in
species.
Yeah, species. We want the herd immunity. It just makes more sense that we want to have the natural antibodies and not something that's manufactured by us. Who knows what the outcome will be? One of the things that's interesting is that we're not the only ones that practice herd immunity. I got a couple articles here about animals that also practice social distancing. Now, social distancing that we're doing is completely different from what the animals in this essay, what they're talking about, because we're now social distancing with everybody. And the animals would social distance, and they would force the ones that are sick to social distance and not be around the well ones. Yeah, and that's the way it's always been.
Yeah, those actually ejecting them from the pack.
And they have special senses that they can sense. Sometimes you can look at a person and know they're not well, or an animal in this case.
Yeah, it says there are specialized senses animals can detect certain diseases, and sometimes before the symptoms actually appear, and then they change their behavior to avoid getting ill.
Yeah, social distance is not a novel concept in the natural world where infectious diseases are commonplace. In fact, several social species will expel members within their own community if they're infected with a pathogen. It's not always easy to see, but I think the closer you are to nature, and if we were in a tribe 10,000 years ago here in America, the medicine man may recognize somebody immediately. Maybe we would know that because it's so different. Your behavior change, your look changes.
You're in tune to the people around you, and it's like anything else. You notice if something changes.
Sure. How many times have you walked into the room and you said to me, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
Because you just noticed something.
Yeah.
And I say, yeah, I'm okay, but there may be something that, I don't want to tell you, or not because it's a secret, but because that's what we are. No, I'm okay. I'm a man. That's the way we think.
I'm a guy.
I'm a guy, exactly. But, so there are things, and I think we get away from this when we get away from the natural world, and that's certainly what our species has. Somewhere along the line, we decided that nature is not part of us, that we're kind of segregated, then this is the dirty part and we're going to create our clean part here. And this is brought on by religions, by some scientific things that people look at perhaps, and they come up with their own little theories that, you know, we're not supposed to be here like the animals, because animals, they're not as smart as we are. And I think we're finding out more and more that the animals are very smart, and we just don't hear them.
Well,
perhaps.
they have more instincts and more, and they're more in tuned. Well, and people are like this too, to some extent. Some people, they're more in tune to the way things are around them. If you pay more attention to how you feel, to how and to what other people are broadcasting, it's a little bit harder with the mask on. But you know, certainly the people with whom you live, and the people with whom you interact on a regular basis, you can tell if they're off, if they're just not themselves.
Yeah.
But we don't pay attention to it. We don't, you don't say to somebody, your aura looks different today. What's going on?
Or you smell different, because a lot of the things are little chemical reactions.
Or cues.
Yeah, or cues, like a animal would just be able to smell. We know that certain animals are really cued into cancer, where they can detect cancer in human beings. We've heard many, many stories about this type of thing. So we need to use these instincts more and more, and I think the way we use them more and more is start getting back to nature. You know, ground yourself with your bare feet in the morning on the soil outside. Stay in the sun more. Get more exercise outside. Have your children go outside with you. I think these are important things to impact our immune system on a good
people
basis.
talk a lot about mindfulness, and mindfulness is simply being aware of where you are, when you are, and what you are, and what's going on around you. And we don't do that. We have too much going on. Our minds are too busy. And we're worrying about where do I have to be in an hour. And
this is the old phrase that thinking is overrated. You know, because mindfulness is without thought. Now you're connected, and you're one of these watchers, the seer, the observer, instead of observing yourself observed. You know, and that gets confusing too. So that's for sure. So in 1966, while studying chimpanzees in the Tanzania area, they observed, this researcher observed their chimps who had contacted polio, caused a highly, this is caused by a highly contagious virus, polio. And the chimps actually attacked one of the troop.
Attacked that particular member and got him out of the troop.
Yeah.
And
it was partially paralyzed and grooming in a tree, and they was starving for social contact and reached out a hand for greeting, but the others moved away without a glance at all. So they sensed the danger, and it was much more danger for them to go and be social with that one. They instinctively knew. That's something we have to get back to, I think. We have to be able to have those kind of senses.
I think first we have to open ourselves up to what's around us.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And pay attention.
And we also have many instances of people like Mother Teresa. You know, people who go into these areas and help people and don't seem to be affected by it just because of their mindset and stuff. So it's a beautiful thing, but we just have to realize that we're part of this animal kingdom too, and the higher animals seem to be using this. Some of the bees seem to be using it. What else is in here?
American bullfrog tadpoles.
And also, it's related to crustaceans like lobsters, and crustaceans do this type of
self-segregation, or ostracizing the unwell member.
Yeah, the ability of spiny lobsters to detect and avoid infected group mates has been the key to their persistence in the face of a virus which kills mostly half of the juveniles and infects. Young lobsters are easy pickings for the virus because the animals are so social. So they have seemed to be able to detect this in other spiny lobsters, and they kind of say, oh, stay away from us. So pretty interesting that ants, birds, there are all kinds of stories here of different animals. Of course, this is going to go into the show notes, but I really never knew any of this stuff. And
Yeah. Yeah, it's well, I guess we've lost our connection to our instincts too, to some extent, as humans. You know, we don't. Some people say, "Well, I got a gut feeling about this," but they don't take it seriously, and other people don't take it seriously.
And having it be a political message doesn't help it any. That makes it worse in a kind, because they're got on people. They're getting on one bandwagon or the other bandwagon, and we certainly see that, don't we?
Yeah. Well, there's so much information, and it's constantly barraging us, and it comes out every single day, and it's different every single day, and you know, when this all started, there were dire predictions.
Yeah. So let's talk about what we should be eating and how we can straighten out this diet when we get back. We'll be right back, folks.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back. And we've been talking about using food as a way to boost your immune system. Mm-hmm. And that got me thinking about other uses for health that food provides. Okay. And I did a little digging around about concerning the foods that might fight anxiety and stress, mm-hmm. in addition to boosting your immune system. And it's this article says there's a growing body of evidence that says your pathways in your gut may affect your mental health and anxiety symptoms. And they're saying that there's been a role that the gut plays as a bodyguard to the rest of your immune and neurological systems. So a wholesome diet, in addition to whatever other treatments you may be receiving, depending on the level of your issues and so on.
Yeah, and articles like this says 12 foods that might fight anxiety and stress, according to a nutritionist. So this is not talking about diet as a diet, saying, okay, this is what you need to be eating. We are more of a carnivore type. We eat mostly meat from an animal and then some fruits. And our fruits being coffee and chocolate and all little berries and things like that.
Cherries when they're in season.
Exactly. So trying to be seasonal. So we think that's an important way to go. But there are certain foods that seem to help fight anxiety and stress, and that's what these things point out.
And you've been talking about fermented foods for a long time.
Yeah, because we want to ease the gut, and we know that a lot of the plant foods are very difficult to digest. There's fiber in there that doesn't digest at all. Mm-hmm. And there's fiber that does some digestion, that slows down the sugars in some sense. I don't know if we really need that, but it's part of the plant and we eat it.
It says here that miso and sauerkraut, other fermented foods, contain probiotics.
Yep.
And we actually take a probiotic in the morning just
and
to
we
help
also
with digestion.
we had sauerkraut just the other night.
Yeah,
so we do eat these things and we use them, as a complement to the main course. Mm-hmm. And these are the things that make us feel good. They're tasty. They have a certain flair to the taste buds, and maybe a little bit sour here, a little sweet in some areas too.
Yeah, cherries have antioxidants that help promote feelings of calmness, which is interesting. I like cherries. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I noticed I felt very calm after I ate them, but could be a cumulative or a
Well, you have to be
long-term.
calm because otherwise you start swallowing the seeds. It wouldn't be too good. So,
break your teeth.
Yeah, so these things are things
chocolate.
to use with your diet. You can use them as a little dessert. That's kind of the way we do it. The chocolate, certainly on our trip, we always use it as our kind of snack in midday.
Yeah, dark chocolate in particular.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that's listed in this as a good, it says people who eat dark chocolate regularly are less likely to report depressive symptoms. Maybe we should look further into this.
Well, there's no magic food can cure or treat any anxiety or depression. There are a few shifts that you can make in your daily food choices that have been studied for mood-boosting properties. And those are...
And I think that's important for women, too, especially when they start going into perimenopause or menopause. Mm-hmm. You don't realize how much of an impact that hormonal system has on your mental well-being, your emotional well-being. Yeah. And then you start feeling sad and you feel low and you feel depressed, you feel anxious, and it sneaks up on you over a period of time. One of the things they don't tell you is that menopause can last for 10, 12 years. And so just it's kind of, again, trying to stay in tune with how you feel and being mindful of your daily activities and your daily thoughts and your processes and finding another food they mention is chamomile tea, and that's usually for like before you go to bed. It helps calm you.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I have a tea.
Yeah.
Before bed. Those things are just really important, and they're tied to our culture too. When you're lost someplace and you knock on somebody's door and they invite you for tea or coffee, this is the normal type of thing that we always did. So it's a thing that bonds us together too. And these are kind of little desserts. Some of the fruits may be desserts, and the chocolate certainly is.
Well, we got kiwi here. It has. Studies are showing that a combination of vitamins C and E plus folate help to reduce oxidative stress, which can lead to chronic inflammation. So, just again, every little thing is connected to every other little thing. Everything you eat interacts with other things you eat, or if you're taking medications. Yeah. Those are things you have to start thinking about.
Yeah,
Seafood.
There's another article here that says 8 foods that help with anxiety. One of them mentions asparagus. It says many studies go back to the 1960s indicate that many people who suffer from anxiety depression have an elevated incidence of folate deficiency. So asparagus is one of those vegetables contain a valuable amount of mood-boosting nutrients. 1 cup alone provides 2/3 of your recommended folate value.
Yeah, and I use this, the next thing they mention is avocado.
Mm-hmm.
And I use avocado oil to cook my eggs in the morning.
Yeah. It's a great fruit and really high fat content, and a very good high fat content that we can digest very easily.
It says,
blueberries.
Back to, just for a minute on avocados. Vitamin B6 helps the body make several neurotransmitters, including serotonin, which influences your mood. And the B vitamins, including thiamine, riboflavin, and niacin, have positive effects on the nervous system. Deficiencies in these vitamins have been linked to increased anxiety. And avocados are rich in the stress-relieving B vitamins and the heart-healthy fat that may help lessen anxiety.
And if you blend an avocado with a ripe banana, some vanilla extract, a little almond milk, and a little bit of sweetener, put it in the freezer for a while, it's a great little dessert that has the vitamin B right in there for you.
Yeah.
So blueberries, of course, something I was always passionate about living in northern Canada. When the fall started coming about, late August, that's when we were out there getting our blueberries.
Those blueberries.
Yeah, I love those things.
Yeah.
They mentioned
They're full of
turkey
vitamin
here. Turkey has tryptophan in it. I just think turkey is, unless it's a wild turkey, this is one of the types.
You want to pick your food. You want to make sure it's not full of hormones. And
turkey and chicken have just gone downhill, and I think just overbreeding. Chicken, the only thing we eat in chicken now are the legs. The rest of the chicken is not very nutritious, unfortunately. There's things like almonds, yogurt, kale,
and nuts you
salmon.
have to be a little more judicious with because they do tend to irritate your intestines.
Yeah, they can.
And particularly if you have a sensitivity to it. But I use almond flour. I baked brownies over the weekend.
They were good, too.
Yeah, I baked brownies because we're having company next week, and I said, foolishly, let's see if we can keep some of these brownies
Well,
for
we
next.
kept lots of them. I just had a couple.
It's only Tuesday.
That's true. Well, you make them so darn good.
Yeah, they are good.
That's for sure. So these are just some of the things that you can use food to help with this type of anxiety that we have on a constant basis. So
salmon is another thing that they mention here because the omega-3 fatty acids are very effective when it helping with anxiety.
Stick around, folks. We got a lot more.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And we were talking about foods that can help reduce anxiety and depression. Mm-hmm. And the last thing we mentioned was salmon. And, of course, you have to, again, look carefully, do your homework, and research your food, because you don't want salmon that came from the waters around Fukushima, for example.
Yeah.
You don't want farm salmon necessarily, because it's filled with grain sometimes. And you really should be looking into that. But
yeah, in fact, there's a study here. A seafood study finds plastic in all samples from the University of Exeter in the UK.
That's kind of
scary. A study of 5 different seafoods has traces of plastic in every sample tested. They brought the oysters, the prawns, the squid, the crabs, sardines from a market in Australia and analyzed them. So, Fukushima was in the northern hemisphere. Mm-hmm. And I remember Nora Gagatas a couple of years ago said, I'm not eating any seafood from the northern seas. But I think plastic is becoming much, much more of a detriment to our seafood.
Well, it's staggering how much plastic is floating around the ocean and dissolving into the water.
Yeah, and there's companies out there now scooping a lot of this stuff up, but they're finding that this plastic levels are really, really small, 0.04 milligrams per gram of tissue in a squid, 0.07 milligrams in prawn. So these are very, very, very small, much smaller than we've been thinking. These boats that are scooping it up with nets, they're finding a lot of plastics getting through the nets because the mesh is a little bit too large. Yeah. So they now have to go back and do it a little bit differently. So seafood is a problem. It's been a problem because of pollution. It's been a problem because of the heavy metals, that we put in from mining, from fracking, and things like that. So our
fertilizer pollution,
runoff. Yeah. So there's a lot of things, and that's why people are farming fish. And we know farming fish is not as good because now you're feeding the fish too. It's costly, because now you have to go out and buy food for fish. And normally what they're doing is cheapening it. So now the fish are eating soybeans instead of eating other fish and things like that. Mm-hmm. So then that changes their whole perspective of their omega-3s and the value that they have to us because of the nutrients aren't there anymore. So we really have to be picky, and I'm thinking that probably now the grass-fed beef that we have here in the United States that we experienced when we were out west is some of the best stuff we can get.
Yeah,
and we still eat some fish, but we're not as big on it as we used to.
Yeah, we like our sushi every now and again, but it's interesting because they're talking about certain types of plastic that is now frequently found in marine litter: polystyrene, polyethylene, polyvinyl chloride, polypropylene, and methyl methacrylate, and those are things that. Like we also get plastic pollution from bottled water, and it says here that microplastics can also enter from beer.
Oh, no. There goes my afternoon. All the plastics are commonly used in plastic packaging and synthetic textures, and they're frequently found in marine litter.
Yeah, that's what the
Yeah,
textiles.
so a new method, edible tissues are treated with chemicals to dissolve
the plastic
present in samples. The resulting solution is analyzed. Interesting.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's kind of scary. I mean, you figure nothing. We're not immune to anything in terms of what absorbs in the skin or we eat, and what lands on the ocean, what the animals eat.
Yeah.
Or what happens when they move up the food chain to the apex predator that has the highest concentration, because at that point the bottom level got eaten by the next and the next and the next and the next.
Right.
And so it's hard to know.
Well, we always think of things like the liver as a cleansing organism, and it's good for us to eat it. And same with the bottom fish. We always thought that the oysters and the crabs, they're eating the stuff down there and filtering everything for us, and they have to be the healthiest because they have these filtering mechanisms. But, at another point you can say, well, maybe there's too much going on. Maybe there's too much pollution here, and they can't overcome that. We don't know, I guess. We'll figure it out somehow, right? We always seem to.
Well, we have to.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. And they say that microplastics pollute much of the planet, including the sea, obviously.
So these are some of the things that are a real burden to us becoming very, very healthy as a population. So if half the people already are compromised because of obesity and these diseases that we mentioned, we have to stop that in its tracks. And the only way I see doing that is through food. Through good quality food. We need everybody to have the good quality food, and I think we have that capability here in the United States. We certainly have the ability to grow it, even if it's indoors now, and maybe that's what we have to do. And since all these buildings and all these stores are empty, maybe we can do that. I don't know. Somebody's going to come up with solutions, because this is what human beings do. We come up with these fantastic little solutions to problems like this. And somebody's going to say, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take a mall, buy the mall, and produce food in it with lamps. Somebody's going to do that.
You predict?
I predict. I predict it.
Okay.
So if somebody talks to you about food and health and stuff, what are you going to talk to them about? What are you going to say to them? I mean,
I usually ask them if they have any aches and pains, and we talk about that, because it often comes up in context of people say to me, oh, you look really good. And somebody saw me for the first time in person after the whole lockdown thing and said, wow, you've actually lost weight. And I said, well, I don't know that I lost weight, but I sure didn't gain any, but I was already accustomed to that regime of being at home and had worked out my schedule.
Yeah, I think that helped a lot.
It helped immensely, just mentally.
Yeah.
I didn't feel locked in the house. I didn't feel so much of the stress.
Yeah.
When it got boring after a while, not being able to go anywhere, but
well, your routines change because you find more interesting things to do, and I find myself wandering in a house for a while and saying, okay, what do I do next here, and so I've got 4 more hours till I fix a meal or something like that. So it's puts you in a different place for sure. And if we want to be happy and healthy, we have to find things that interest us and that we have a passion for, and do those particular things.
And that's, I think, another aspect of health, obviously, is that feeling good about things. If you get up in the morning and you dread getting out of bed because of what you have to do all day, and you don't like your job, or you don't like the people with whom you work, or any of that, that's tremendous stress on us, and it negatively impacts our health.
Yeah. So finding that passion within yourself of something to do, and then finding a job that relates to it, is a huge thing.
Yeah, I was thinking a lot about my job, my type of law that I practice, and it turned out, of all the jobs in the world, that was the perfect job for my skill set and my interests, and I've remained excited about it and happy about it. And I used to work with an attorney who'd say, "You're so darn happy all the time. What's up with that?" And it's like, it's just, if you like what you're doing and you feel good about it and you feel good about yourself, you're going to be happy.
Yeah. Well, I remember meeting some of your customers for the first time, and they were always just raving about you, and that made me feel good. I was with the right person for sure. So stick around, folks. We got a little bit more. We'll be right back.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step-by-step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.
TFNN has developed a daily programming lineup for traders by traders. We start every trading day live at 8:30 a.m. with Tommy O'Brien hosting the morning market kickoff as he starts the day off by breaking down everything you need to know about what's going on for the trading day ahead. At 9 a.m., Larry Pesavento takes your calls and questions live on the air for the opening bell as he hosts Trade What You See. At 10 a.m., Tom and Tommy O'Brien host the Bull Bear Trading Hour. At 11 a.m., it's Kevin Hinks and Alex Coffey from TD Ameritrade Network with Fast Market. Basil Chapman at noon with the Tiger Technicians Hour. Steve Rhodes hosts the Trader's Edge at 1 p.m. Dave White with the Power Trading Hour at 2 p.m. And Tom O'Brien closes out the day for the final hour of trading live from 3 till 4. Don't miss a second of our daily programming lineup. Tune in to Tiger TV every trading day live at TFNN.com. Educating investors.
So the last thing we have on our list here is the FDA expands the list of potentially bad hand sanitizers. Now there's over 100 of them that are not really good. And our producer had said that, the best thing to do is just use soap and water.
Yeah. If you're using a hand sanitizer, you want ethyl alcohol, at least 60%, and really not much else. And so you want to watch out. Don't pick up anything that has methanol in it. And apparently there were a series of Mexican brands that all had the methanol in it. And if you look on the CDC has a list. Yeah. If you're interested to know. But
big list.
Ultimately what it comes down to is just wash your hands and use the hand sanitizer. If we go out to dinner, we come out of the restaurant, we use the hand sanitizer just in the car until we get home. And it's just, got it at the natural food store. It's just, and it is the 65%.
Of course, we've read a lot of things now about maybe we're over-sanitizing things too. So there's the danger of that too. I don't know if anybody really feels passionate about not doing these things.
Well, I was thinking...
I think washing your hands, it just makes a lot of sense.
I was thinking this morning or last night that you know, we were gone for 2 weeks. We were in many different states. We were in many different buildings. We were around many different people. And we walked outside. We did not wear a mask. We did wear a mask when we were inside.
Yeah.
And neither one of us, you know, it's been more than 2 weeks at this point, and neither one of us have any symptoms, nor did we have any problems while we were away.
No, and I think if you're healthy, I think that's the case for most people.
Well, we used our little spritz of hand sanitizer from time to time, and we watched. We didn't go close to people, and you know, we were sensible.
And as far as the numbers are concerned, it seems like we're in a real high flu epidemic from the numbers. Normally, worldwide, anywhere between 250 and maybe 500,000 people die of the flu every single year, and we're kind of at those numbers now.
Yeah. So don't be one of those people. Take care of yourself. Be well. Be safe, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.